Welcome back, guys, to my No Context podcast. But there's going to be a little bit of a difference today. So, today we do actually have a little context, and the episode, the main title is The Art of Letting Go. So, at some point of your life, you had a chance to let go the things that you loved. So, it can be something that you wanted to get off your life or something that you're forced to put out from your life. So, today I have a guest. Her name is Raina, and I would think she will be a good fit for us for the episode today and for the title as well, The Art of Letting Go. So I'm giving the opportunity for Raina to introduce herself today and tell you guys a little bit of her background of where she's from. And actually, I'm just going to give you the chance so you can tell
Right.
whatever you want. So yeah, please help
Right.
yourself.
Hi guys, I'm Raina. I come from Bali, Indonesia. I came here in 2022, December. I am an international student, but I just graduated. I took a business diploma. So now I'm on applied status of getting my working permit.
The art of letting go. The topic today is we are not going to talk about it surface level. So art of letting go can be connected to everything and every aspect in your life. So what do you got to what do you got to say about the art of letting go, right? What do you think about art of letting
It's
go?
when you detach from something, even your hopes, your expectations about something, you have to just detach from that thing to attract that thing. That's kind of like the law of attraction. When you detach from something, that's when you attract. So when you like just surrender, that's when those opportunities coming for you, all the good things coming for you.
Well, that's a very interesting way that you
Yeah.
put it. So you're telling, in order to gain attraction from something, that you have to let it go first.
Yeah.
So what type of experience do you have about like letting a thing go off and then attracting it back or later in life?
There's a lot of things that I've experienced that I had to let go and then finally attracting it. For example, a job, let's say. When we tried our best to get a job interview, we're really like focusing our attention, put focus on it because we really, really want that thing, right? And then, but it seems like it didn't work out because we're really being hard on ourselves. But when you're like, "Ah, whatever, it's fine. What's meant for me will find me." That's when those opportunities coming
I
because
see.
that's what I'm experiencing right now.
Okay.
When I'm like, okay, I tried my best. I'll let the universe handle it, and that's when it comes to me.
So the bottom line of what you tell right now is like sometimes you got to stress less.
Yeah.
Like sometimes like of course similar situations has happened to me. So you had a massive breakup.
Hmm.
Like it was a very bad,
Painful,
painful,
tough.
tough. Yeah,
Of course, it stings my heart,
exactly.
right? It caused me panic attack, depressed, and even I was suicidal.
Hmm.
Trigger warning. I was suicidal, and because it came to the point where I had so much pain, I just wanted it to end. That's why I don't want to live because it's too much pain. I tried almost everything in my power to get away from that heartbreak. But sometimes to get through something, you have to go through it. Section for
Yeah.
that?
Yeah, so I'm going to ask you a little questions about your experience.
Mhm.
I think it will be like some people who watch us might be feeling very relatable for how you went through this process. So how was the initial shock of the breakup was for you, like the first weeks, like as soon as you got to know, well, this is ending. This is
Yeah,
ending for this lifetime at least.
yeah.
So how was the first few weeks were like?
That night, it didn't kill me, but something inside me died that night. I don't know. I feel really shocked about what just happened. I didn't believe, wow, I've spent so much time with this person and suddenly it just ended like that. That's so strange for me. And the fact that the next day I had to work, it was really, really hard for me to
Wow.
overcome. But I cried, yes. I validate my emotion. I was sad. I cry. There's nothing wrong with crying. That's just how, as human, we let out of our emotion. For my heartbreak, I actually contribute in this heartbreak. Why? Because I let that person hurt me. When I knew the red flags. I knew I was going to get hurt, but I kept going. I convinced myself that it's going to be a different outcome. That's why I was blind full time. I purposely become blind. I saw the red flags and everything, but I kept going because I really wanted it to work out so bad. So okay, let's just keep going, but nothing.
How long did it take you to realize that
Woo!
it's not gonna work out?
The thing is that it ended October last year,
Okay.
right? And then 3 months later, I was going through grief, obviously, anger, missing the person. That's really normal, right? The stage
It is
after,
completely normal.
yeah, after it ended. And then 3 months later, on January, the person texted me, Happy New Year, blah, 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 something like that, as if nothing happened.
Wow.
I was like, okay, why?
Wow,
But at that time, I was still hoping that this person will come back, right? Because I still miss him.
Of course.
Of course, that's really normal. So of course I take him back, and at the same time, in the back of my mind, I knew if I take him back, he's gonna disrespect me more because he's gonna think that I'm accessible now. The fact that he hurt me already, and then he came back, and then I took him back. Like, oh, okay, this I can manipulate her, something like that.
Wow.
At that time, I was not ready to let him go. That's why I took him back.
But you told me that before you got into this relationship that you kind of had the idea about all the red flags that he was
Mm-hmm.
showcasing before you guys even started dating. So you saw all this and you knew what the outcome is gonna be most likely,
Yeah.
and you still took the shot.
The thing is that, first of all, I'm gonna make it clear that we were not in a commitment relationship. It was, I would say, a situationship where it has no label on it, but he made me believe that he wanted a relationship. And what was holding me back at that time was that what held me back to cut him off, it's because he gave me the feeling I've never felt before, such as I feel so peaceful around him. I feel so safe because his energy is really calming. His aura is so peaceful. I've never felt that in my life before. Because I'm crazy and he is more calm, so like kind of like the opposite of me. And that feeling was the feeling that I was craving for my entire life, and I got it from him. That's why once I got those things from him, I want to just lock it in. I was attached to him slowly, right? So the lesson is that I gave it my all before even
Before even like you
before
guys were
even
into like a committed
yeah,
relationship.
I gave it my all. I trusted him before I even know if his words align with his actions. That's what I was supposed to do, right? But I was naive at that time. I was still young, and I just wanted what I want. So that's why.
I completely understand your point of view. I completely understand where you're coming from. Like as you told, like you saw the red flags, but you ignored the red flags for like the things that you needed the most at that
Yeah.
time. So that, with that being said, like I have met a lot of people with this situation who were like people saw the red flags in this, whether it's their girlfriend or whether it's their boyfriend, husband, wife. They saw the red flags, but they still went for the things that they saw as a necessity at that
Mhm.
time. For in your case, the necessity you had was feeling safe and feeling his aura and like how
Peaceful.
peaceful it
Yeah.
is.
When at that time, at that situation, I felt like, why this happened to me? Like, why do I have to go through this shit? Like, I'm so in pain right now. But now I realize, like, those things I need to go through it. Why? Because if that thing didn't happen, I wouldn't be the person I am today. I wouldn't grow as a person. And I'm really grateful for what had happened to me. And I also made sure that I learned, I grasped, I gained things from this experience. I don't just cry that yes, time wasted, yes, but I also make sure that I learned something from those experience. I took notes even so that I wouldn't repeat the same patterns in the future, to save myself from those same situation again and again. Because if you keep repeating those patterns, you're stupid.
So if you want to be mentally strong, if you want to be mentally unbeatable, if you want to have a strong mindset, you have to train your mind. You have to go through and endure hardships. You have to see people around you change and sometimes be okay with it, because the only thing that doesn't change in this world is in fact changing. That's the only thing that's gonna never change,
Correct.
which is the word changing. So we are coming to the topic, the process of grief. So maybe you guys can remember a couple days ago I posted an Instagram story telling that telling the people who listen to us to send their personal experience which they had with anxiety and depression. And I'm so thankful for you guys for sending me and opening up with me and sending actually some good stories and coping mechanisms for me to read and to share with the listeners that you have today. So I'm going to read you guys the first mail that I got from somebody who saw my story and was uh, okay to express their trauma or express what they're going through. So I'm going to read that for you guys right now. Yo, okay, so I'm struggling with grief. I'm grieving and it never seems to end. I miss her every day and I'm confused. I literally don't know how to carry myself without her. So my heart goes out to the person who sent this to me. And what I want to say firstly is, if you read the title, The Art of Letting Go, I know it's hard, but sometimes in life, you have to accept things in the surface level.
Because in life, nothing is permanent. Everything is temporary, right?
It's everything is temporary. I know it's a super hard thing. It's an incredibly hard thing to accept. But some things will happen in your life where if you go wrong, you can't you can't really fix that. You have to accept it. And
And acceptance is really hard.
acceptance, it takes a lot from you. Accepting is hard. And I read this beautiful quote. It's telling that it takes an immense level of violence in order to achieve peace. So, moving on to the second listener that shared their journey or the story with us, I'm going to read you right now. So, it goes like this. I am an international student in Australia. When I first arrived, I didn't have any friends or family here. So, I went through a challenging time. I felt stressed and depressed. But over the time, I managed to go through it. I got used to being alone, but I feel my mental health has worsened. Now I often find myself avoiding people and I don't enjoy socializing. Sometimes I even feel irritated when I see others. There are days when I don't leave my room for a week. I can't focus on my work and I feel disconnected from the reality. Wow. Well, you just sent me my story. When I came here to Canada almost 2 years ago, I felt exactly the same way as you felt. Everything, and everybody that I knew from the since the day I was born, I had to leave them. And have you heard about this? Like, there are certain types of animals that if you change their environment and take them to a place, especially in the period of their growing, if they are young, it's going to affect their growth. The environment is going to affect their growth. I kind of believe it's the same story for people as well. For you, the person who sent me this note, and for me, and for Raina, everybody in this room right now, we all went through this situation. this is adapting to the change. Think about this, my friend. At some point in your life, this this is what you dreamed about. The state in your life right now is what you dreamed about 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago. I know for a fact that you prayed to God to give you this life. Well, this life is here now. You can you can't complain about the mud when you prayed to God to send some rain along your way. You can't complain about the mud, mate. But I completely feel you when it comes to feelings, when you are completely, utterly alone, when it's you and only yourself in your room and you're going through incredibly a hard time. I know you're doing your studies, you're going to your job, and there's a lot of things in your life that you're going through right now. But but the maximum pressure makes diamonds. Me 2 years to find myself after moving here. It took me 2 years to finally accept the reality.
Mhm.
It took me 2 years to finally accept that I am the only person that can change this reality.
Yeah.
With that being said, thanks again for sharing your experience, and I hope that we helped you a little bit. Can you please explain us how did you uh, be okay with grieving? Like what steps you took in order to be okay with the heartbreak or anxiety or depression? Like what type of measures you took, and how did you actually uh, did you tell this to your family, or did you go through this alone? I would like to know a little bit of the insight of this story.
Yeah. So at that time, I was living with a lot of people in the share house, right? And I was really close with them. They're really supportive. And I was always a happy girl, always cheerful. But then people around me notice I become sad, something like that. And then they start to worry. So I starting to tell them my stories. And yeah, it really helped me to get all the things out of my chest to when you talk about it to people, right? Especially when they care about you. But I really had to go through those things. I mean, of course, it's really painful. I was really sad, but that's how I was feeling at that time. I mean, my coping mechanism at that time was sleep, eating, and shopping, which is really bad, but that's what I could do at that moment in time. I, of course, cry. I validate myself that okay, I'm going through this thing. It's going to take a lot of time, my energy, and things like that. But
Did you like as soon as this happened? Like, did you talk? Who's the first people that you? Who are the first people that you talked about this? Was it your family or was it your friends?
no, not my family because I don't want them to worry about me. Actually, I just kept it to myself until my friends were worried about me. Then I told them about my situation, and that helped a lot.
How was the
So
reaction from the family once you like first put it out there?
they were like, they just told me that it's part of life. Yeah, obviously, that's part of life. Suck it up because I've been through this thing, the same thing as well previously. So maybe I haven't learned that lesson on in the first situation that I went through like a few years ago. So yeah, back again on this pattern. That's what they told me. Like you repeat the same pattern, and of course they try to comfort me, stuff like that. But all I tried my best to handle it myself because I feel like other people can't really help me because I'm the only one who can help myself.
Wow, yeah, that's a very helpless
Yeah,
feeling, you know, like
it's
wow.
really hard because I cry every day, every night. Every time I'm by myself, I always cry because if I don't cry, I don't let that emotion out. I feel really, it really stings in my heart where I felt like I couldn't breathe properly.
Early in the episode, we discuss a type of questions. You know what that is? What ifs.
The what ifs,
The
the
what ifs.
possibilities, the fear of missing out.
And I'm giving the opportunity for Raina to explain
Mm.
this what if situation. I think you will do it better than me.
So the potential that we see in that person, the what if, the possibilities, is actually a projection of what we would do in that situation as that person.
Wow.
And
Wow,
yeah,
that was a beautiful way that you put that down. Wow.
the potential that we see in that person, the potential that we see in him, is actually a projection of what we would do in his situation. It's not actually what he would do, but it's actually what we would do in as that person, because that's what we expect that person would do, right?
Wow, that's actually got me thinking, Raina. Rebuilding your self-worth
Self-worth.
and identity. So after a massive destructive event in your life which completely destroyed your
Yeah.
mental health,
Ooh.
completely destroyed all the routines that you had, keep going, it completely destroyed you as a person and your identity. So Raina will explain her situation, how she came out of these massive destructive events for her life, which took a massive toll on her mental health, physical health, everything. So how was the process look like for you, Raina, for building the self identity and your self worthiness
Mhm.
again after this thing?
Yeah. So of course, after it ended, I went through um feeling insecure about my physical appearance, about everything. I feel insecure about my situation in life. But yeah, I had to validate that I am insecure, but I also have to put effort on how to change my situation, right? I go to the gym to change my physical appearance,
You
which
took
is in
action.
process. It took action.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the right word for that. And I have to, yeah, rebuild my self-worth. I have to know my worth, my value that I had maybe not seen in the past, but like, you know what? Before I even met this person, I was totally okay with myself. I was so confident in how I look like. I was so confident. I don't care about anything. I just care about myself and how I look good and stuff. But this guy had the audacity to come to my life and made me feel insecure. Why? So first of all, I'm gonna tell you.
Yeah, go ahead.
So he pointed out my flaws. He told me that, oh, you have fat in your stomach, and then, oh, you have hair on your face. I'm a human. I have hair. I have hair.
Everybody has fair.
Yeah,
Come on.
come on, like those things. Why would you say that to someone you like? I don't even know if he likes me now. Like the fact that he said that to me, to a woman. Why would you say that? And then he point out my flaws. That's so disrespectful. There's no etiquette, right? For example, I told him that, I'm gonna work on my body. I'm gonna be physically fit. Blah blah. I'm gonna lose fat, something like that, right? And then he was like, "No, you won't. You can't do that." He said that to me.
Oh wow.
I use that thing as a motivation. I channel those pain. I channel those pain, those heartbreak into motivation to something that would benefit me for my future, right? So I
Yeah.
have to be more successful, far more successful than him, than whoever has hurt me in every aspect of my life. I have to be far more successful than that. That's my biggest revenge. But so during my healing journey, I literally took notes of every single thing that helped me get through it, and all the things, the disrespect, the things that he did to me, how I feel, how I react to it. I put all those things in notes, and I put also the mindset shift, the solutions, and what not to repeat in the future. And I put it on my notes. And I want to say this important thing that might be really helpful for all of us is that nothing belongs to us, right? I kept repeating when I was hurting. I really said this to myself: nothing belonged to me. Everything is temporary. And there's also the art of detachment where nothing belongs to me. It's all an experience. And I always say that to myself: this too shall pass. It's really simple word, but like it really helped me a lot. Like I also say he was never mine.
And she will explain you how to identify things, or I don't know, the process of how to know you actually did let go some things. Carry on, Ryan.
Well, in my case, I kept going back to the same person again and again until I have nothing left in me. where I had to say, you know what, I I'm done suffering in the past. It's enough for me. Enough is enough. I deserve so much better, and I know much better things will come to me once I let go. In this stage, I'm not fully let go of the person yet, but at least I came through acceptance, the stage of acceptance now, where I don't think about the what ifs, the potential, things like that, because it's already too much for me to handle. It's like it doesn't serve me anymore. This situation, mm-mm. I have to focus on myself. I have to put that energy onto myself instead of that person so that I could flourish as a person, right? To grow as a person. Yeah.
Wow.
Put
Wow.
that energy into yourself.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I know it's super easy for her to say it right now, but I know she have went through that. I know her, so it's so easy for us to put these things into words. It's so easy for us to say to you, the people who watch us, to say, "Hey, do this, try this." I know it's pretty difficult. I was in your shoes, and I'm still is at sometimes, and at some points in my life, I'm still in that pair of shoes. That part of me never left me. So, guys, unfortunately, the time that we have today with Raina is coming to an end. And I would like to thank you, Raina, for coming all the way down here, taking the time of your day, and giving your time for the good cause that we are doing today, which is an episode totally dedicated for mental health awareness. And I'm thanking you again from the bottom of my heart for talking openly about the traumatic events in your life and opening up about your experience with depression and anxiety. And I would like to thank everyone who sent me their own experiences about anxiety and depression through mails and through DMs. I'm eternally grateful for you guys for finding the courage and sending me your experience. And finally, before you let it go, do you have anything to say for the listeners as a final takeaway from our whole conversation?
First of all, thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun. I had a chance to share my personal experience. And for all of you who are listening, you are strong and you can get through all the obstacles in life. You have to believe in yourself and just go into the mirror and then say that you can do it.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line. And have a good one, guys. I will see you guys again soon with with a good episode coming up. And I want to say you guys that just just be yourself and just trust your gut. So remember, my friends, there's this famous saying: today is difficult. Tomorrow is much more difficult, but day after tomorrow is gonna be beautiful. But most people die tomorrow evening. It's a famous quote from the top billionaire from China,